Columbus Crew versus Toronto FC, Wednesday night, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time. The makeup game from the unfortunate situation with Kirk Urso passing. Toronto allowing Columbus players and staff to attend the funeral of Mr. Urso. And now the makeup game happens in a midweek. Not ideal for Toronto, but they have to get on. Now, gone are the old days of Guillermo Barros-Schelotto and Robbie Rogers dominating Toronto. But now Columbus has a couple of new guys in Arrieta and Higuain. What can we expect from them?
Well, I tell you, from what I've seen early from these two in MLS, and it is early in their MLS careers, is they are just amazing ball handlers, and they see the game so well. For Arrieta up top, very quick, doesn't hold the ball long. And you say the same for Higuain. Boy, his first game against Houston, as soon as that ball's on his feet, it is gone. He spots his targets very quickly. So obviously the emphasis there is on Toronto defensively with the midfield, just to be aware that the Columbus players generally in their pace of play right now is they don't want to hold on to the ball too long. You mentioned it's not easy for Toronto. Columbus coming off a disappointing 2-2 tie against Houston, kind of gave it away late with a couple of mistakes. And the thing too for Columbus right now is they're still in a position where, you know, the playoffs are not out of the picture for them, and Toronto's still trying to really just earn respectability and start maybe see if they can't leapfrog a couple teams with maybe 5-6 games to go and see what they can do. So, you know, it's really a must-win for the Columbus Crew. We know it's a must-win for Toronto FC for similar but a little bit different reasons, in that they're trying to, you know, still develop a character here with this team and get Eric Hashley to meld well with Luis Silva and Ryan Johnson. But for the Columbus Crew, you're right, there's some different names in the mix right now, but you look in the back line, there's still some very familiar names, and with Eddie Gavin leading the charge, when this guy scores, they seem to win. So a very dangerous club, and it is always, even though Toronto's coming off a victory in Columbus, it's always a tough place to play over at Crew Stadium.
And the subplot to the Columbus-Toronto match is always the Trillium Cup that's on the line. Now, Columbus came into BMO Field and nicked the Reds for a 1-0 victory, so they've got a bit of an edge right now. And now Toronto did finally break the curse in Columbus, beat the Crew last year 4-2 in September. Can they have another repeat showing of that?
Oh, I think so. I mean, you know, you look where the two teams are right now. Columbus, as we just talked about, they're rebuilding their attack a little bit. Right now it looks good, but for Toronto FC, they've been doing the same. And I think Luis Silva gets better with every game. Maybe didn't have a game that he would have wanted exactly last time out against Kansas City. I don't think anybody offensively did, so they'll be looking to have a rebound. And one thing that has been consistent since Paul Mariner took over for Toronto FC, at least to me in my view of it, and you may choose to disagree, as may you, but there haven't really been back-to-back letdown games for Toronto, whether it be offensively or defensively. There might be a game where they want to fix and correct something. They tend to do that the next match. So if anything, you know, if you look at, since Paul Mariner's taken over, it's a good sign that Toronto's coming off a game where they didn't get one against KC. Maybe they pop a couple against Columbus.
Well, we'll see if they can do that at Crew Stadium Wednesday night, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time with Dan Dunleavy. There'll be a pregame show on Gold TV Canada at 7 p.m. and, of course, the postgame show after the final whistle. So that's Gold TV Canada Wednesday night, 7:30 p.m. is the kickoff. And on Twitter, join the conversation using hashtag TFC Live. For Dan, Asif, we'll see you soon.